All right, we're here.
Q&A time?
Oh yeah.
Q&A time.
Lots of good questions.
We have actually lots of good questions, and we appreciate everybody for contributing, I guess is the best.
Like the keyboard, like contribute. That's
Contributing. Well, phone, keyboard.
They could have been using like, voice command.
Totally,
you don't know.
right.
Don't know.
But we posted on our Instagram and our YouTube community to ask us some questions. So we got some really good ones. We can't go through every single one because we did get lots, so we do apologize if we missed you.
And it's like 27 degrees out and nice, so we want to go
super
do
nice
other
day.
things.
But there are questions that were asked that are pretty generic that a quick Google search will find. So if we didn't hit your question, it's likely a pretty simple answer if you just do a little bit of research. But we're going to start getting into some questions. Clayton?
Yes.
We're going to ask you some questions too.
Uh-oh. Okay. Go ahead.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Do we start at the very first one?
Yeah. I probably have to unlock my phone or no?
Oh, man. You got your phone locked? Here, what's your PIN?
There's nothing good on there anyway.
First question. Will there be an MVOC? For most of our YouTube followers, subscribers, people following along with the channel, they wouldn't know. We host a big Volkswagen Audi specific car show here where we're located.
Not like H2O and
No, but
big,
there's generally 300 something cars. It's a good event. And
lots of cars up in a rally as well. So
yeah,
it's fun.
We usually have a few hundred cars on a rally convoy, which is like a few hour drive together. Really fun time. COVID butchered it for the last year. This year we got shut down only a couple months ago, like overnight. So no event this year.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Next year we're coming in full effect.
Let's stand somewhere else because there's garbage right there. We don't look at garbage.
Oh, but it's not stock.
It's a modified garbage can, but it's.
So that question that was asked twice, I think. We had two of those questions. So Ethan Browning, 2012 Beetle, wants to do an all-wheel drive swap. We haven't done one in a Beetle. The transmission and all that stuff's going to be the same. The drive shaft length.
Which gen did he say?
2012.
Yeah, hard to say. Not sure.
So we can't really answer that one. Haven't had experience with it. Drive shaft might be different length because of the wheelbase. Don't really know. Sorry, I can't help you on that one.
We don't even know if that's still Mark IV platform, Mark V.
Don't know. Not enough Beetles come through here.
Ship the car to us. We'll find out.
Good point. Yeah, we'll make it work. You want to ship the car to us? We'll make it happen. Alexandra Leto. Is there a way to make Haldex manually switchable on and off?
There is.
There is a couple ways actually. If you put a standalone controller on if you put a hand, geeked out. There is a way if you use a standalone Haldex controller for sure.
Yep.
But also on the newer generation vehicles, I believe USP Motorsports has a switchable like button or key fob that you plug into your Haldex that you can enable and disable it so you can do burnout, front wheel drive burnouts and stuff like that.
I think even on the Mark IV platform, even HPA used to have some sort of setup too that you could get on. Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that. But definitely the new stuff. USP, check out their website. They definitely have it. Your phone keeps locking, so we're going to have to fix that problem. Next question. Our boy Spin Dad.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't checked out Spinny's channel, if you're into cycling, he's entertaining to say the least.
He's good.
If you're into entertaining humans.
Not entertaining humans.
Entertaining human beings.
Yeah,
I get what
he's
you're
entertaining.
Right. Yeah. He asked, how would you spend $1,000 on a stock vehicle to start racing? That's road course or drag racing. So Clayton and I...
My answer to this...
You go.
We didn't really go over all these questions either beforehand. Some of this is...
This is like on the fly.
But we did talk about this one briefly the other day, and my thing would be just seat time period. So the more money you can spend on actually getting seat time in, a lot of people spend thousands of dollars on their cars to get them ready for the track and never end up showing up there. So just it's expensive even just to go. So spend that money, get the seat time, and have fun. But Dave?
My thought, Clayton kind of glazed over this, but not thinking, and this is the first thing because I deal with it all the time. You need to prepare yourself to be able to do this stuff, and one of those things is having proper safety gear. I know that sounds crazy, but tracks aren't going to let you race if you don't have a helmet, or in some cases you don't have gloves. And then after the safety gear and potentially your driving school license or whatever is required for your local track.
Yeah, after that.
Because that's a few $100s.
Yeah, if you have that stuff, what is it after that though?
Very first thing I'd probably do, brake pads.
I was thinking tires, but yeah, brake pads are important.
Brake pads are going to be way up there
Yeah.
because you can get a lot of braking. A lot of guys do big brake kits on cars, and really, a really good set of pads is going to go a very, very long way. So, spinny. There's your answer from both Clayton and I.
Yep.
So, Buddy's Shop, next question. Why do you guys like VWs? And which one of you guys make the best engine sounds?
Ooh, tough one.
The best part of that is I couldn't even take the mic away. She was like not giving it up.
So, why do you like Volkswagens?
For me,
Yeah.
my entire family has always been into muscle cars, and as a kid growing up, I always just wanted to have a vehicle that most people wouldn't think would be fast, beat up on muscle cars. And Volkswagens were basically at the back of the pack, and in most cases we still are.
Yep.
But it's fun to try to make a Volkswagen. There's a lot of challenges. Make a Volkswagen go fast, and there's a lot of challenges doing so. And that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah, and I got into it just because I like smaller cars. I originally wanted to buy a Mini when I bought the Mark 1, like an old Mini, and just found the Mark 1 and actually found your website and your car, obviously, and I thought it was cool, so started building it, and then that's how long I've had the Mark 1.
I will add one other thing to that.
And the community.
That's
Community's
what I was
awesome.
just going to say.
Yep.
The community in the Volkswagen world is very, very unique,
Yep.
and generally a pretty tight-knit group, and that's really what adds to it.
I agree.
Next question, Charles Antoine Stevenson. And I apologize if I'm butchering these names. Come on. I like to work on cars. I don't like to read. He says he's planning to do a build with his dad, and it's a Mark III Golf. He's wondering what engine to put in it. Thought about TDIs, potentially a 1AT from a Mark 7. 100% I'm behind 1AT from a Mark 7.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I think it's a great engine. There's tons of potential. It's not a very common swap, and those things are literally found everywhere now, at least where we are. So it's no problem getting those engines. Just don't forget the ECU and the harness as well.
And
getting the engine's only a small part of it.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you pick a TDI, or are we going to wait till the next question?
We'll wait for another question. LMH, the third gen 1AT TSI, how well do they do with big turbo setups? Really depends on fuel. You can make, I mean, there's lots of guys that have done IS38s on those, which typically bring them to like 320-ish wheel horsepower.
Not a big turbo though.
Well, it's a
not a
lot
big
of power
turbo.
for that.
No, not a big turbo.
If you're talking bigger than that, more power, the engine's got to be built. It's apparently got a weaker crank and a few other weaker components in it. So if you're trying to make some big jam, you're going to have to build it like every other engine. Next question, Marcos Pizzana. It's on the screen. 1AT or VR6, or 1AT or VR6, and why? Depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to make noises, VR6, they sound great.
VR6
If you're putting it in a Mark 1, I'm going to tell you a VR6 is a stupid idea.
I agree.
Just because it's going to ruin the handling of that vehicle. So
Fun fact, I was going to put a VR6 in my Mark 1.
until
Glad I didn't.
Until he met me. And I talked him out of it.
Glad I didn't.
Just think how bad that car would be at the track.
Oh my God.
You would have sold it a long time ago.
Yeah. Or crashed a long time ago.
Yeah, better.
Probably crashed it.
Okay, next one. VW Fred VR6969.
Ooh.
Best upgrade for the 1AT for a weekend cruiser to get the most of the motor without upgrading internals. Tune it. It's 100%.
Yeah.
If the car's not stage 1 tune, you're silly.
Yep.
Tune the car. Next question. Dirt MK3T.
Okay.
If you had the choice to build a custom part or make an OEM part better, what would it be and which motor would it be on?
I like making stuff, so
No, but we're talking like, if I really had to choose,
what do you mean?
I would say I would make, this is a tough one. I would make The Volkswagen transmission's better.
Oh, yeah. They're pretty junky.
The new stuff, all the, you know, DQ, DSG transmissions, they've all been very good, especially the newer stuff.
Yep.
Manual transmissions have been weak sauce in most vehicles. I'd build a better, out of the box, OEM manual transmission.
Yeah. It's not even the box, like, or sorry, out of the box. Yeah, you said that, but it's not even like it's not even the gear sets that suck. It's like the cases, the gear set,
Yeah, it
everything.
just
It's
depends
like
on the
whole thing.
transmission. They all
Everything's
sort
garbage.
of fail. Yeah. So next one is Fernie AW. What would you recommend if someone attempts to 4Motion swap a Mark V GLI with the DSG transmission? From which cars on these parts? But come on, man. We did a whole series on this thing.
Yeah. Should be all pretty much the same. Like
We'll
DSG,
link to the video.
Yeah.
The GLI, the Jettas in general. We haven't done one, but they're generally going to be a little bit easier because of the floor pan piece, the trunk, the spare tire well.
Yeah.
But we have a whole video series we'll link above. There's tons of information about swapping all-wheel drive in a car that's very similar to that.
Yep.
Joel Garza, why don't y'all wonder where they're from? Mess with
Texas,
very
yeah?
many TDIs. So this question continues on a little bit. Biggest answer to this, really, for me, is I'm a horsepower guy. TDIs just don't make the power that we can make in gas cars. Simple as that.
Torque's fun, cool, but it's not what
The no RPM, the no power, the amount of money it takes to try to make power in those.
rolling coal.
Yeah, it's just nothing that I tune lots of TDIs all the time, but it's just not my passion. It doesn't, to make 180, to spend tons of money to make 180 to 250 wheel horsepower in a TDI, we could just chip tune a Mark 7 GTI and make even more horsepower than that.
You could have just summed it up and just said it doesn't make your pants tight, so it's fine.
Clayton, kid show.
Cooking show.
Jerry Soroka. Man, I'm going to butcher some of these. Touch on fuel system components, specifically pump and injectors, which you prefer, maybe best bang for the buck. There's a second part to this question. I'll get to that. Fueling really comes down to money and where you're planning to go. There are lots of options for injectors and fuel pumps and all that stuff. What I recommend to everybody is overdo the fueling system, because every single car, I can probably say this with pretty good confidence that
Pretty sure?
every single car that I think we've modified for a big turbo or bigger turbo applications, every one of them have upgraded again and upgraded again and upgraded again. And there's nothing worse than spending a bunch of money.
Considering even like yourself.
Yeah, I've done it myself. So the difference in price on a lot of injectors and pumps isn't that much. So to go from a 630cc injector to a 1000cc injector, there's really no difference. So just put the bigger injectors in it, as long as somebody can tune it for you.
Yep.
It only makes sense. The injectors are so good nowadays, and the fuel pumps, that you don't need to worry about going overboard.
To a certain extent.
No, they're pretty good now, man. So, this car runs 2200cc injectors and about to be bigger, and the car idles fine. It's not like you can't make them idle or anything like that. In the past, it was a problem. Nowadays, not so much.
All right, I'll read some of these and butcher some of the names. Simple Man.
Oh, that was the second part of that question.
Oh yeah, best part actually. Do you ever plan on, oh God. Do you ever plan to all-wheel drive the Mark III? Drag car, of course.
This little girl right here.
Yep.
We'll see. My goal is to build another car, to be completely honest, to not run this car.
Yeah, what'd you say, run 9s and then chop it up?
Yeah, we're going to chop
Didn't
this thing up
happen.
a long time ago. If it runs 8s this year, then we'll see what happens by the end of the year.
And by the way,
That's my answer.
so people know, I put this on a tripod.
Yeah, so
'cause
now
my
that's
arms are
steady.
getting a little bit sore.
Clayton's
Holding it
little
up.
bitch arms were getting
And,
weak.
and Dave couldn't read this with shit. So.
Right, good, sure.
Next question, Simple Man, AFR levels. What's good, and around which numbers is lean, which numbers are you running rich?
Yeah, so that one, I remember reading that one.
Yep.
It's really, there's no real cut and dry answer. There's general numbers, yes, but it's really specific to each engine, each build. Like, for example, a direct port injected engine is going to be a lot different than a port injected engine. So do your homework for your specific application. That question is way too broad.
It also depends on if you're running turbo or NA.
What fuel and so many
yeah.
things.
Lots of stuff, lots of stuff. So Tyler Jasper, I think I nailed that one.
Okay, good.
It's easy name.
Good for you.
What separates a good tune from a bad tune? Obviously, if it makes power. Well,
I would say
to a certain extent.
Drivability.
Yeah.
It's easy to make horsepower.
all the little
Drivability is where it gets really difficult.
Like in the 2.5 video, the Corrado, like just getting it running and all the
that's
everything.
That's
put
the
into
part that takes all the work.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Okay.
maybe not the answer you're looking for, but that's drivability is a big one.
Okay. Per dub for this.
Oh.
Yeah. 1AT or 2-liter TFSI. Tuning and engine overall. Please, more 1AT content. I don't know how we can get any more 1AT content.
Yeah,
we're pretty
our
much
channel's got a lot of 1AT content. There's lots of videos to watch. There will be more for sure.
Yeah. But 1AT or newer 2-liter stuff.
To make 400 wheel horsepower in a 2-liter TSI like Mark 6, it's very easy, even easier in the Mark 7 stuff. On a 1AT, that requires additional work. When you start making 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 horsepower, it's probably easier in a 1AT because there's endless parts for them. So broad question, but it's easy to make power on a port injected engine because they're older and a zillion people have done it.
Good answer, I guess.
Thanks, Clayton.
Oh, Tyler Jasper again.
Ooh, 2 questions?
Yeah. Is the Mark 6 Golf R a reliable platform to achieve 400 horsepower and still daily drive it?
You know my answers to that, Clayton?
Well, you're pretty much, well, not 400 horsepower, but we built a Mark 6. And,
Depends who built it.
yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So it depends what parts are going on it, what kind of fuel. There's plenty of things. Can it be done? For sure.
I guess you can make pretty much anything reliable. Juan or Juan.
I would say 1.
So that's Juan, like the hurricane we had here.
Yeah.
Why the does the 2.5 get no love? I want to turbo it or do an NA build, but it's hard to find anything except from one IE. That's exactly what it says.
Okay, so
I'm guessing like maybe parts from IE.
yeah,
like
so the 07K stuff is what he's referring to. It does get lots of love. There's lots of people swapping those engines into things now.
Yep.
We plan on doing,
Maybe met on
we
our
have a couple
channel.
here actually. There's a 2.5 Rabbit there that's getting turboed. There's another 2.5 Turbo Rabbit or Turbo Golf outside.
There's the Corrado that was here.
Yeah, and the recent video we did of the all-wheel drive swap GTI, sort of an R now.
Your car?
That's getting, my car, it's getting a 2.5 turbo as well. So there is lots of stuff out there. Yes, IE was kind of the front runner in it. If you're gonna do anything, my opinion, boost it, because NA, you'll just hit a roadblock with power. And I get it's fun, but there's so much more power to be had with the turbo setup.
Fun.
To some, depends what they're
Okay.
doing. Okay, depends what they're doing.
Chobson0891 says, insight on how the front clip or bumper and grille and headlights is held up on this, the drag car.
It's not magic. It's not, what do they say? What does Ricky say?
Who?
It's not rocket scientist?
Oh, it's not rocket appliances.
What?
It's not rocket appliances.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
Rocket appliances?
Yeah, so I'll tilt it down.
So it just bolts on at the top, like it always did, and then originally the bumper bolted into the end of the frame rails like this, and that's why these holes are there. So it bolts on basically exactly as it did from the way it was factory.
And then the sides clip in kind of, but not really that
And
great.
the sides clip in, yeah, we just butchered, when we cut this, is this still in focus, Clayton?
Yeah.
We basically had the whole upper part of the bumper and we cut the bottom off, so it bolts on the same as it did. It's 100% butchered. We're thinking about redoing it.
They'll
it
see
works.
it in one of the videos.
It works, but it's super heavy and it's just a pain, so we may redo that.
Yeah, okay. Andrew Vertifield.
Vertifuel?
Yeah, this right, yeah.
Right here?
Do you want a VR6 swap my 1.4 Jetta for free? It's in New Hampshire, just a question. Man, if it was in Maine, 100%.
Oh yeah, if it was in Maine, I would do it for free.
Yeah, but New Hampshire,
since it's in New Hampshire, can't do it.
Can't do it. But no, like we're not really interested in doing
free
anything
free
for
work
free right now.
Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe if you guys can get this like channel to like 1 million.
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
Get us to $1 million.
Get us to $1 million, I'll
Yeah.
do work for free.
Yeah. Christian. It's an easy one.
That's it. Okay.
KC the Ginger.
Ooh.
The most annoying question you get.
This is a good one because I deal with it all the time.
Yep.
Can I get exhaust crackle or pops and bangs in the car? Doesn't matter the
No,
car.
wait.
2 liter, 8 valve. Doesn't matter what it is.
No.
TDIs.
Beat you on that, yeah. The popcorn tune,
Popcorn.
whatever.
It's the most annoying question for me as a guy that tunes these cars.
Yeah. Crank and wagon. Why you no like VR6?
You gonna put that guy on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do like VR6s. It just comes down to us, for me, wanting to make horsepower. And if you're trying to make 400 horsepower, 500 horsepower, a VR is pretty easy to do so. But as you start going up and up and up in the horsepower, it's just more money. It's more cylinders, more pistons, more rods, more injectors. A turbo is what dictates the horsepower. Doesn't matter the engine that it's bolted to. So if you have a 67 mil turbo bolted on a VR and a 67 mil turbo bolted on a 180, they can still make the same horsepower. Doesn't matter. Turbo dictates the power, so why add a bunch more complexity to it?
All right.
We took a break
Yeah,
and we switched it up.
Change up the
We
view.
need to gather our thoughts.
Yeah. Fast Bunny Metalworks. Any head flow program this year? So I'm
I'm
guessing
assuming he's
drag car.
referring to the drag car,
Yep.
and it looks like, yes, we're still in the works with getting a cylinder head for the new engine, and we'll talk more on that once we have it in our hands, but it looks like it's happening, and we're really hoping so, because I ported that head when it was in my Rabbit, like, man, I don't even know, 10 years ago. It's been so long. So that head is
Neither one of us
ready
had
to be
gray-
set on the shelf for retirement.
Neither one of us had gray hair back then.
No, neither,
Yes.
right, exactly. Next question.
Colt foe. Actually, this is good. If your career didn't involve cars, what else would you want to do for a living?
I'd probably be doing, if I had to think about this wasn't my career originally. I was in business computers, operations management at our local telco. And I did that for like 12 years before I started doing this full time. But I would say if I were to do it all over again, I would be into graphic design. Clayton?
Which
what
is
about
funny
you?
you say that because, well, you used to do a lot of the graphic design,
Yep, totally,
design
yeah.
work and stuff
Yep.
for everything. So, me, architect.
Oh, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Like George Costanza?
Yeah.
He wanted to be an architect, didn't
Yeah. But I have photography background and stuff. But I mean, it's
Okay.
I'm not really. I don't. I guess kind of involved in cars anyway. Next question.
he? Okay.
Oh, this is a good one actually. This is a really good one.
Oh, really good.
Yeah, Area 38. Clayton is so dreamy. Is he single? No, I'm not. But
He's lying.
you can.
He's ready for you.
If anybody wants to send me pics or whatever.
Yeah.
Ben Nogler. Ben_Nogler. He's very concerned about this. Wants to see more Billy. So he asks, "Where's Billy?"
Ooh, we'll have to get Billy in here, Mark.
Could be out in the container.
He might be in the container.
Yep. VR Coupe. You'll see him on the channel too often. Why don't we get to see more of Ben? Next question.
Yeah.
Bye. Scrap bin speed. Is a 16 valve head truly VW's best work? That's.
So I don't know.
Best head work, best engine work. What are we talking about?
No, I think he's referring to the head, right?
Flow, like
Yeah.
like he is.
So I don't know the answer really to that. It does flow well, but with all the CNC porting programs there are out for, 2.5 5-cylinder heads and
2-liter
180 heads and so I don't know the answer to that question. What I can say is the fastest Volkswagens in the world, being water-cooled Volkswagens in the world, are 16 valve cylinder heads.
Yeah.
And they're down in like Brazil or somewhere down. They
Over
have
in
some
Puerto Rico
fast,
too?
like low 7 second cars, I'm pretty sure.
Is Zek? It's Zek.
Yep.
It's Zek.
It's
What are the general steps to dialing in boost delivery and with standalone e-boost controller?
Follow the manual. Most people ignore the manual.
Yeah.
And
That's the best actually question. When people call you and ask, I'm having issues, it's like, did you check?
If you read the manual, it tells you how to manage the boost. But there is always a fine line, and different roads, like up a hill, different temperatures can all kind of impact that. So dialing it in specifically is going to take some effort. And if it's too laggy, you've gone one way too far. If it's spiking, you've gone the other way too far.
Generally,
yeah. If it's set up properly. That's the big thing.
This is a really good question. I don't know how to say the name though. It's
Come on, try it.
Shenevly.
Okay.
It's
Dev. Yeah.
Dev. Yep. Favorite build you've been a part of? You want to answer it on 3?
I remember reading that one. What's that?
You want to answer it on 3? Because I think we probably have the same opinion.
Yeah, I would say it is
1, 2, 3. The Mark V all-wheel drive.
The Mark V all-wheel drive car.
We didn't.
There's been plenty of cars that I really enjoy working on, and the Mark V, the reason mainly is the customer, honestly. He just lets me do whatever I want with that vehicle. He has things and goals in mind, and I have ways to achieve them, and he never second guesses what I want to do to it, and it's been really, really fun. We've done everything to that car. It's been airbag before.
Yep.
It's had APR Stage 3 turbo kits on it. We've upgraded the APR Stage 3 turbo kit. We've done endless things to that thing, and it just keeps evolving, and it's super fun, and it will always be one of the top for sure.
Yeah, and we should have a lot more footage of that coming up soon.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it earlier, but the engine's...
It's right there.
Oh yeah, that's,
part of it anyway. Next, the real Al Slow. Why are drag racers never ready when it's time to go racing? That's racers in general, I think.
Yeah, that's racing in general. It's for us here. We didn't get any drag racing anyways last year at all. And then, like I mentioned probably earlier in the video, we got shut down only a couple of months ago again, like overnight. So everything was all up in the air again. And now they've basically started to lift everything, so racing is going to happen for us.
Yeah,
and of course, it's catching us with our tail between our legs.
Yeah, first race is what, 2 weekends from now?
The first race is 2 weekends away, and as you can see,
and it's a 5-hour drive for us.
Drag car doesn't have the turbo on it yet, new front mount intercooler, blah blah blah, lots of work.
Yeah.
So get to work, Al.
Yeah, not us. asmith.03. Do you prefer tuning OEM ECUs or aftermarket ones?
100% aftermarket ECUs. Basically, OEM ECUs, you don't always get what you want. So what you put in is not always what you get out. On a standalone aftermarket ECU, if you're on the timing table and you adjust timing, that's what you get. And that's the big difference, is like it's way easier on a standalone to get exactly what you're wanting out of it. However, the OEM ECUs takes out all the hard stuff, which is the drivability, because it's already built into it.
So. And with new aftermarket ECUs, like safety parameters and stuff is all.
There's endless
stuff
we can do now.
So it's not like the old Mega Squirt days, like the old stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, asmith.03 again. What's something I can do to make my tuning session go smoothly? How can I help my tuner? Good question. Thank you for asking.
This is a really good question. So if it's a turbo build, for example, 100% make sure the boost controller is set up properly. It's a major fault.
Yep.
2, make sure you have the fuel in the car that you plan on running on the road.
Sounds like a stupid question.
Right. But if you're, unless you're just trying to make horsepower, but whatever fuel you use for a tuning session is what the tune's going to be created for. So don't bring your car to the dyno and put 93 in it and try to get a little bit better numbers, and then go out on the street and try running 91 in it all the time, and then call your tuner a month later and be like, oh, my car's wrecked. Your car wasn't tuned for 91, it was tuned for 93.
And actually, we'll probably end up doing a video on things to do before bringing your car to the dyno. So
yeah, we'll
kind of answer more of that in the future.
Yeah, we've put a few things together to kind of enhance that answer, because there's definitely a handful of things, but boost control is a big one. Fuel is a very important one, and then just regular maintenance stuff. If something is like melting on the headers or the manifold, don't bring it to the shop to be tuned.
Yeah,
If the wheels are falling off, if there's a shake in it, like regular stuff, common sense, and you'll be good.
Underscore just another Steve underscore.
Any more underscores?
That's it. No, just the 2.
Okay.
How do you know your custom tune isn't over stressing any components?
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Depends on the platform, depends on the engine. In most cases, for us, where we are, there's been plenty of people that have done whatever to that vehicle. There's usually somebody ahead of you that has already wrecked stuff that you can learn from. For my engine, for where we are and within North America, I've had a few people that I was able to lean on, which have been a great help to me over the years to know kind of where the limits were with it.
And you've been in that scenario too, where you found some limits. And
yeah, I've tested things and broke things just from learning, and that's part of evolving. Is if you're not breaking stuff, you're not trying hard enough, really.
All right, and that was actually the last one. I didn't realize it.
Oh, okay.
So like again, lots of good questions. We didn't get to all of them, but
the video's probably already 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And
yeah, almost 20 minutes by the looks of it.
So if there's anything else or any random questions, we'd like to try to do these, and maybe there'll be a way to make this a little bit more interesting. I know it's kind of Clayton and I standing around, but we did want to kind of do something like this because it's been on the radar for a while. And
we try to do one of these, once a month or every couple months
maybe,
even.
Depending. We did have a lot of feedback, or a lot of questions. So Clayton, are we forgetting anything for this one?
I don't know. I don't think. Obviously, there's lots of videos coming. We always say this, but there is like drag car, like very like stuff we've already started filming. We have
a few that we started filming. One the other day that didn't work out. Mark 7.
Yeah, a couple Golf R's, the drag car content, which should be out soon, and yeah.
I'm going to answer 2 more questions though.
Okay, go ahead.
Common ones.
Okay.
How much does it cost to do an all-wheel drive swap?
Who asked that?
Everybody. It depends on so many factors. How do you want to drop the car off? Do you want to pick it up as a runner?
What you already have?
Do you have the donor car? Do you not have the donor car? How many mods do you want to do? Do you want to do a differential? There's so many factors. It's like saying, how much to build a house?
Yeah.
What kind of house are you looking for? And that same question is, how much does it cost to do a big turbo setup on a 1.8T, a 2-liter, a 2.5, VR6, whatever?
It's easy to price at the Pirates, but...
It just really comes down to what you want out of it. If you want it to be reliable and you want to have a good tune, it's going to cost money. It's simple as that. You want to put junk on the car and expect it to be reliable, it's likely not going to be the case. So the price can vary so much, and it comes down to what you're starting with and what your end goals are, whether it's street car, track car, whatever. So
that being said, I'm going to butt in for a second.
You butt in.
Eventually, we kind of want to do something for the channel, right? Like a cheap car build and kind of do it on the cheap side and see how much power we can make with it type of thing.
Yep. But that's going to be 100% right. We do have plans to do something like that, but it's going to be it's going to be an anomaly thing. It's not going to be the average thing, because although the car and the engine is going to be extremely cheap, we're probably going to have $15,000 to $20,000 worth of parts chucked on it. It's just going to be a stock engine.
Which is kind of a fun build, because like you'll see the standalone we have on it,
exactly,
and the turbo we have on it and stuff like that.
Fueling.
It'd be kind of cool to push that stock engine and see what we can get.
Yeah. So that is in the works.
Just good fun car.
The pricing of swaps and turbo kits and all that, there's so many variables. It's an impossible question to ask. Like I said just a minute ago, let me ask you, how much does it cost to build a house? Do you want a house with marble flooring? Do you want it on the ocean? There's just a million things that can change the price of it. So, we forgetting anything, Clayton?
No, I think that's it. I want to go enjoy the day. So.
Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, ask them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
GoPro, stop recording.